Hey everybody, Jackie here with Johnson Plastics Plus. And today I am joined by Jackson from Vapor Apparel. He is the president of Vapor Apparel. We're super excited to have him in today to talk a little bit about Vapor Apparel, what makes Vapor Apparel special, why you might want to add it to your business. So I'm going to let Jackson talk a little bit about Vapor Apparel, how they got started, and a little bit about the brand. But before we start, we do have some housekeeping. I just got really excited about Vapor Apparel.
Yeah, Jackie was ready to go right into the webinar, but
I'll have George do some housekeeping real quick.
Few housekeeping items. As you're watching the webinar today, if you do have any questions, please use the questions tab over there. We've got Anna and Leslie helping answer some offline, and we'll get to some as well live during the webinar. And make sure you stick around because we do have maybe a little treat for a couple of lucky attendees here at the end of the webinar. So now, Jackie, we can actually formally get the webinar going.
I can't believe I forgot about those exciting things. There will be 2 demos. So we're going to demo pressing a shirt and a 9-panel vapor throw blanket. And then there will be giveaways at the end, like George said. So stick around. I think now we're ready to have Jackson talk a little bit about Vapor Apparel.
Awesome. Thank you, Jackie, George. Vapor Apparel, we started 19 years ago. Basically, what we saw in the market was sublimation on white shirts. There was something for those of you who've been doing it for a while. There was a soft link out there, had poly on the outside, cotton on the inside, sublimated grade, not so comfortable. So we developed a performance apparel version, our basic performance tee, that is wicking, antimicrobial. Even though you can't say antimicrobial anymore, it's no stink, has no stink technology. Basically a comfortable shirt that you can sublimate on. Started in the awards and custom gift market. We then diversified into colors. That was the myth that you couldn't sublimate on colors. So we brought out a wide range of mainly pastels. We do have some mid-shade colors that we do. And we went into product development for several years. And then about 12, 13 years ago, we developed our solar fabric, which is 50 plus UPF. Got us into a lot of outdoor markets, fishing, boating markets. We kind of played around with our own brands. Altered Latitudes, which is our resort and destination brand. We got into selling on Amazon and really just taking performance apparel, vapor apparel, using the technology of sublimation and taking it into different vertical markets and really improving concept. So that leads us to what we've been doing the last 3 years, which is focused on rebranding Vapor Apparel and refocus for direct to consumer, for online, and for sales at retail. And so we've gotten into a few retailers in the past couple of years. We're selling on Target Plus. Our Amazon business continues to be strong. And I know you guys who are sublimating might ask why we've gone down that road. Pure and simple, we're trying to build value in the brand. We're out there selling our solar performance. This hoodie right here, we're selling online at $40, $45 decorated. So when you guys go and buy blanks from JPP Plus, customize it for your customers, you guys have room in there to make margin, and we're trying to prove out that concept. When your customers go to a retailer and they find Vapor Apparel on the shelf at $30 to $40, but they can come buy it at a quarter of the price for a blank from JPP Plus, it builds value out there. So it is self-serving. We are trying to build a brand here, but at the end of the day, we believe in our legacy business, which is selling blanks. We've been doing it for 19 years. We appreciate everybody's business who currently buys them, and hopefully this webinar can get some new people to give apparel a try.
Yeah, so I know we're gonna have a demo of sublimating a basic t-shirt, but can you tell us why, if I have a sublimation printer and I'm ready to kind of venture into the world of pressing on t-shirts, why would I want to start with Vapor specifically? Why wouldn't I go down the street and go to my local superstore and buy a t-shirt? What makes Vapor
Yep.
a good choice for that?
Well, we are not the cheapest apparel on the market. When we developed this fabric, it was with sublimation in mind. So sublimation is one of the more rigorous printing technologies out there. Screen printing, you go through a tunnel of about 330 degrees Fahrenheit, non-direct heat, thermal heat. Embroidery is embroidery. Sublimation, as you guys know, is minimum 375. We recommend maximum 385 on our basic tee. A lot of people, the myth is you need to be at 400 to sublimate, you will burn up a shirt. So that gets expensive in a hurry. But we have engineered the fabric to handle that heat. A lot of brands, even the Nikes and Under Armours of the world, they're not worried about sublimation. And if they don't make the fabric correctly, engineer it for handling the heat, it will burn up a shirt, and that can be pretty expensive on your production process.
And we all know that in running your business, you want something that is going to be quality at the end of the day. And I know you said you have some Vapor brand apparel that you've had, around in your closet for how many years?
Yeah, I'm a Braves fan, so I took a basic tee, ash heather, put a Braves logo on it, and that is my yard shirt, and has been every weekend for about 15 years, and it still wicks, no smell. It's a great shirt. I look forward to putting it on every Saturday morning.
Yeah, so it's definitely a product that you can feel comfortable putting your name on for your customers. And one thing that I'm always impressed by is just the way that they feel, like especially with this basic tee. I know people always hear sometimes the word like polyester content and get a little bit nervous and scared about it, but they, like Jackson said, they really have engineered this material specific for the way that you're going to be using it. So I think if you're ready, maybe now is a great time to head over to the press and do a demo. But while you're headed there, we've got a question.
Yep.
So quick question, Jackson, you talked about your, oh no, I can get you on the other camera. We're good. We're good. We talked about your your shirt that you wear every day out in the yard. How many washes? I know that's a loaded question because it depends on the shirt and the wear and all that stuff, but approximately how many washes is a sublimated Vapor apparel shirt good for?
For our solar garment, we in order to test the UPF testing, we wash it 30 times at the lab.
No, you're right. I'm going to bring it up for you. You're taller than the rest of us.
There you go.
It was such a short girl.
So just for testing the UPF longevity on the garment, we test it for 30 washings. And actually, on our UPF garments, which the basic tee is not, at 30 washings, the UPF actually increases during that time. So we kind of quit there. But I can tell you, I've lost count of how many times I keep shirts in my drawer that I wear. So the wicking is permanent. The no sink technology is permanent. Basically, we do that when the fabric is dyed and finished. I'm not going to go too crazy on the polyester side because I was in the polyester yarn business way back when. But polyester has a memory. And actually, we'll talk about that when we get into pressing. It remembers the highest temperature it sees. So when we dye and finish the fabric, and the technologies, i.e. the wicking, the antimicrobial, the dyes go into the fiber, and during that process, when you go through a tinner frame, which actually then heat sets the polyester, and when you do that, polyester's memory, it only remembers the highest temperature it sees. So when you go to industrial laundering and other heat, it doesn't see that temperature. So that's why the technology is permanent. So I'll quit there because I'm sure I lost half of it.
It's fascinating.
So just while Jackson gets kind of set up, we have printed the transfer out on the Epson F570 sublimation printer. And then we use the inks that come with that printer. And then he's going to be using the Swingaway Geonite DK20S, which is one of my favorites. It just makes it easier to press, especially with the Swingaway function, especially when I get to that blanket or those more bulky items. It just makes it easier to press. And then he's got a foam pad and a Teflon sheet to help protect the platen.
So here, this is using the Vapor Foam Kit. So the Vapor Foam Kit has 13 plus square feet of foam in it. We allow you guys to cut it to the specifications that you need. Today, I'm going to be using it on a full front press. And I asked them not to calibrate this press before I came in here, because I think that's one of the biggest things is people have a hard time figuring out how to press. So this wasn't staged. I didn't spend 30 minutes in here trying to get this thing ready to go. I want to show you guys how easy it is to calibrate, but more importantly, how important it is to calibrate. In our shop, we probably have 16, 20 presses, and every morning when production comes in, they calibrate the press. I can't stress how important it is to get it right before you start every day, because presses will come out of calibration. I was doing a demonstration a few weeks ago, and through the demonstration, I pressed about 15, 20 shirts. By the end of it, the press was out of calibration. It wasn't doing right. And it's not just picking on a Georgia Knight press. All presses need to be calibrated on a regular basis. So anyway.
It's a great tip.
Yep. So I got in here, the pressure, and everybody's really amazed at it. You're just really kissing the top of the press down to the top of the platen. And we recommend with our foam kit, you cut the foam smaller than the size of the paper. That way the paper falls off the edge of the platen. And then we recommend putting Teflon here. And this is probably one of the areas that I'm weakest at, which is lining up the print correctly.
We will not hold you to that today.
Good. All right. Great.
Now, do you also recommend doing like a lint roll first? Because I know you said you'd mentioned that fabric remembers stuff, so will it remember the lint that it's on there too?
We do. We actually recommend lint rolling before every time you press, just to alleviate contamination. It really actually depends on your shop. If you have a very clean shop, probably less need to lint roll. If you're worried about it, or if you've seen contamination, lint rolling will fix a lot of problems. So I think we got a clean shop here. No lint roller today. I've lined the shirt up. I've got the Teflon, the foam kit. Another myth is that you have to pre-press the shirt. You do not have to do that. I'm more doing this just to reiterate that is all the press you need. And if you try to move it, it is got contact with the shirt, so we're good. Let's see if I can line this up straight today. Normally I do about 4 fingers. Everybody's fingers are different, but from the nape of the neck.
Oh, that's a good tip. So he just said he typically does about 4 fingers down from the nape of the neck. It's a great question, because you never want it to be too high or too low or look funny.
So as we're pressing our solar fabric, it's a filament polyester, which if you think filament, that means it's kind of like a long spaghetti strand that is textured to give it the bulk and softness. That fabric is a little bit less durable, so we recommend 370, 375 heat press on those. Obviously, part of the calibration, we recommend a heat gun to get the temperature of your heat press prior to every day, because it can vary. It's going to vary while we're pressing. The basic performance tee, it's more durable. We recommend a little bit higher temperature, around 380, 385. And in all dwell time, we're about 25, 30 seconds. But as you can see, that
Beautiful.
is a nice, good sublimation print.
Yeah, one thing, I don't know if I'll take this to the
Yep.
to the close-up camera. But one thing I really love about Vapor is how vivid those colors are. I know especially if maybe you're not used to using a sublimation specific shirt and you switch to a Vapor apparel, you're going to be really impressed with how bright and beautiful your images come out on a Vapor product versus something that is not sublimation specific. So.
Well, and it's also the sheen, the press lines, shirts that fabrics that aren't engineered for sublimation, that's really what you're going to find. And we see it when we walk to fishing shows, and there's a lot of less expensive competition. We see a lot of garments and production out there with big shiny squares and press lines, and they're professional fishermen, so you think they know what to wear, but we don't judge, I guess.
But yeah, I know that's, like you said, one thing that is difficult with, especially if you're new to pressing apparel, using Vapor apparel will be something that really helps eliminate a lot of those issues and struggles that will slow you down when you're getting started, like press lines or, burn images, that kind of stuff, because like Jackson said, this is designed specifically for sublimation. In addition to apparel, Vapor also carries some really cool items like baby, toddler, kids items, bibs, onesies, and then one thing that's been really popular is the Vapor 9-panel throw. So Jackson is gonna be a rock star again and demonstrate how to sublimate on this throw.
So they did a lot of work already. So they printed 6 of the panels. They left 3 of these for me to print. So kind of want to show you guys a pre how we do, because trying to do these on the swingway, which is what this throw was designed for, you do have to work around a little bit. So you roll, and everybody can do it maybe a little bit different, but basically you've got to get a good pressing.
Yeah, and that's the really nice thing about this specific product is because even if you have a smaller press, you're not limited to the size of item that you can do. You just press in sections like Jackson's going to do. And then another product that he's using that we have on jpplus.com is a pressing pillow. So it's got the Teflon and the foam in it together. So.
Okay, so we've got the panel that we're going to press set up. In order to eliminate or reduce the press lines on the throw, you just simply rip. Don't get too close. And I'm not good at this part of it.
Again, we won't hold you to it.
There you go. All right. But you just you rip it down the side, and it just, the idea when you're trying to do a press line is you don't want to have a contact point that the paper, or a rigid contact point where the paper can cause an indentation in the fabric. That's the whole point. So if you just rip the side, it makes it getting better at this as I go. And also, we put this black border here intentionally, and the black border does not accept ink, or it does, but you can't see it. So as long as your picture is bigger than the border, then you're good. Then your only trick is to line it up properly.
Yeah, that's one thing I really love about this product is it kind of gives you a template for the picture, so you're not having to measure and make sure everything looks right. It's just right there for you, so you can have 9 different pictures lined up beautifully. So.
And the recommendation on this is 360 for 45 seconds. One thing in our shop that we try to do is eliminate dwell time, because when you start to do dozens or hundreds of shirts, if you can get a dwell time from 45 seconds to 30 seconds, all of a sudden you're saving minutes, then you're saving hours, and hours is money.
Yep.
And if you're doing this yourself, it also is time you could be selling versus in your shop pressing shirts. So, but for this, we're kind of the starter settings, which is 360, 370, 45 seconds. The throw and the basic tee, as I said, you can get the temperature up a little bit, which you can lower your dwell time. So just really, that's something you got to play with, because every shop kind of operates a little differently. So you see that? There you go. So
Beautiful.
there we go. And kind of a production tip as you're doing this, kind of start either right to left or left to right. You just slide it over. And your next panel is ready to go.
Yes, that is a great tip because I would be one to start in the middle and then it wouldn't work out great. So
Now
I think
let's
we've
see
got a
how fast I
question.
can do this.
while he's gripping that paper.
One of the questions, Jackie, again, the equipment that we used to create these prints, the printer was,
We use the Epson F570 sublimation printer. So these prints are a little bit larger than maybe a small format printer could handle. So if you're maybe doing small printing, but you're thinking, okay, I want to upgrade into larger items like this, you can do it with a smaller press and maybe invest in a larger printer that can print up to 24 inches wide. So it's our Johnson Plastics Plus paper with the Epson F570 printer, which you could do 24 inches at a time. So you could print out, those 9 images really quickly with that larger printer.
and one of the things too, I want to make sure is that the great thing about Vapor Apparel is that it's printer agnostic. So as long as it's a sublimation printer giving you full color prints, if you're using a Sawgrass, an Epson, or what have you,
Exactly.
the
yep.
Vapor Apparel is great for that.
Vapor has done a great job of making materials that are ready for sublimation, no matter what sublimation printer you're using.
Correct.
So that is a very excellent point. And again, I just love the way that the images press onto Vapor products specifically. They're super durable, like you said, t-shirt that lasts for 15 years and still going strong.
Right. And one thing that we're trying to do, being having our main product being performance apparel and t-shirt, everybody knows spring comes around and we're doing shirts, we're doing sun protection gear, but we're trying to extend the season, which is why we've come up with the throws. It's not a new product, but that's why we came out with throws. We've got our hoodie that is been a very popular product, and it looks just like a cotton 3-inch fleece. It's a 10-ounce poly fabric with a nice inside.
Yeah,
It's got a very
really
soft
soft.
inside.
It doesn't feel like it, doesn't feel icky when I touch it. It feels just like a sweatshirt that you would pick up at the store. There's inside pockets, even lined and fuzzy. For us that live in, cooler places, you can stick your hands in there and stay warm too. So that comes in, you carry it in the gray, and you can get that at jpplus.com. And then something that I always find really cool about Vapor that Jackson's mentioned a couple of times is the UPF protection. So I know summer is around the corner and maybe you're getting ready to spend time at the lake or go to the pool or go to the beach. And you don't want to mess with wrangling your toddler to slather them with sunscreen every hour. They do carry some really great options. So this is the little toddler shirt. That is the Vapor Apparel shirt. So some of them do have the UPF protection, which just really helps avoid the sunscreen fight that you might have with your kids. And again, it presses beautifully. It feels nice and soft. So if you have a kid who's maybe finicky about the way fabrics feel, this will work too. And then.
Yeah, and that's one thing we've seen, a trend that we've seen in the last year and a half is youth, toddler sun shirts are just really booming. Parents, actually there's been some locations that have banned certain types of sunscreen. I think in Hawaii and Key West, there's certain you can't even, sunscreens you can't even buy or sell. But as having 3 daughters, and they're all older now, but having a sun shirt to put on top of them, which I didn't have at the time, versus trying to reapply sunscreen every 30, 45 minutes. It's a lot of the market is gravitating to that. And we're out of Charleston, South Carolina. And we've seen a huge uptick in sales. And you go out on the beach and you just see tons of families with just wearing sun shirts for their kids. And so definitely a market, if you're not in it, would be a good one to look at.
Yeah, and along those lines of, being outside, even if you don't have children, maybe you have pets or dogs, there's other accessories too that are in the apparel category, but not necessarily t-shirts. I know t-shirts are an awesome thing to have, but always be thinking about other things that your customers might want, like this bandana.
Not necessarily a question, but I was going to piggyback on that real quick about the outdoor. You know, a couple of years ago, we were all wearing gaiters in the stores, and we were out, and I had one. Love my Vapor Gator. One thing that I realized is I wear this now when I mow, and it has helped my allergies immensely. And that's what, if somebody's got allergies, because those of us here in the Midwest, we get the cottonwood coming up soon. We got tree pollens right now. Those Vapor Gators are fantastic. They really help quite a bit with allergy season when you're out mowing. And
that's a great call out. Pandemic happened. We made more Gators than I thought we'd make in a lifetime, and sold a lot as well. After the pandemic, that everybody had Gators, they had face coverings. We actually are seeing an uptick. A lot of our fishing customers and customers down in the Caribbean and Florida, we're seeing an uptick in that business. And to your point, allergies in Charleston, we start getting, actually it was early spring, I think late January, we started getting pollen this year. So yeah, it's definitely got a dual purpose.
Yeah.
There's a functionality to it rather than pandemic protection.
Yes, it's functional for your sublimation and for your lawn mowing. So.
Absolutely.
And I do want to point out, I have not pressed one of these in years, so I'm a novice at it, and it's not hard to do. You guys can figure that out.
Like, what a great little gift or set to bundle for your clients. If somebody's having a baby or just had a baby, you can do the 9-panel throw, a Vapor onesie, and even add in a little, I've seen babies with little bandanas on, and it's the cutest thing ever. So much you can do just with the items that we have shown right here. These are all available on our website. These do qualify as well for your JP Plus rewards points. So just another plug for that on why to purchase these from JP Plus. This is also one of my other favorite materials, is this hoodie. And can you talk a little bit about this specific material?
Yes, so this is our solar material. So this is a 50 plus UPF. It is approved by the Skin Cancer Foundation, and it's got permanent wicking, permanent no stink properties, and really it transformed our business back 13 years ago. Our basic tee was the original garment that we came out with, original fabric that we designed. Basically went to the awards and custom gift. People were putting pictures of their dogs and their grandkids on there. When we came, we did a little bit in the outdoor retail market with that product. When we came out with the solar, it was a no-brainer. And again, that's when we got into the boating and the fishing. And then as we transitioned into fall, we do have the current hoodie. We're looking at some items to add for the fall to just expand that so that we can then talk about layering. Because layering is so important where you guys are, where it's a little bit cooler climate. We sell a lot of this product to ski resorts that people wear as a base layer while they're skiing. And then after they're skiing, they've got their quarter zips, and then they've got their ski coat to go on while they're out in the elements.
Very nice. Yeah, and they're really soft, and I love this color. And I know that's one thing, like you'd mentioned with sublimation, is sometimes you feel like you might get pigeonholed into white only, but they do have options that are more of the pastel colors that can still accept sublimation, but you're not only stuck with white. And I think we got a question.
Well, that was, Jackie, you beat me to it. That was the question we had. Could you show that? Can we show that on the product close up? And that was one of the things that I love about the Vapor line, is that you've added some colors in, but they still look great with sublimation. You know, you think of sublimatable apparel, you think white, everything's got to be white. Look at that on that light blue, and that looks fantastic.
Yeah, and there is a color wheel, and we could get you guys the file, and it shows a full color wheel of all the colors in the gamut that you can press on different garments. And I'll have to get you guys that file. And that way, when you're in design and your customer, you know, if they're dead set on a certain color, you could maybe compare that to a navy or another color, and it just helps in design to see which colors will pop. on which blank, because white will give you the truest color. As everybody knows, sublimation inks are translucent.
Mhm.
So if you print this on a white, you will get a little bit different output. So if you have a color wheel, you can print it on different colored shirts in your shop or retail spot and show your customers kind of what their output will be.
Oh, that's a great resource.
So Jackson, as you'll find out in our webinar, our customers are eagle-eyed,
Yep.
and they will look
I bet I know what
behind
they're
us
thinking.
and see what's on the racks there.
Yep.
Somebody wanted to see I'm going to call it the mint green. I'm sure that's not the right color or right name for it.
Yeah, it's a seagrass.
Seagrass, okay.
Yep. So this is our Seagrass Youth Solar. We've got this in a youth hoodie as well. And then this is a toddler. And this is just our Vapor Big Wave logo.
Yeah, there we go.
And so when we did our rebrand about 3 years ago, we changed, those who have seen it, we had the kind of old hurricane logo. We've kind of done we call it our Big Wave. So yeah, this is our Seize the Way Youth Solar, and I believe we sell it on our retail site.
So this is another one of the toddler shirts I'm sure somebody wants to see. And again, these have the UPF protection in them.
UPF 50 plus.
Okay. And you said that was approved by
actually-
the Skin
Skin
Cancer,
Cancer Foundation.
which is huge.
Yep, it's actually tests out to about, the white is 74 to 80 is what it tests out at, but the most you can rate is 50 plus in the US. The colors we add, they don't test out as high, so we put a titanium dioxide finish on it. So it actually tests out over 100, and those are the ones, and that's wet, dry, and again, we tested up to 30 washes, and it actually goes
I
higher.
mean, that's perfect for like, for me, I want to buy one so I can take it on vacation. And when I'm sitting in the sun and feeling a little too warm, I can just throw it on and over wet skin
Well,
and
that's
still
the
know I'm
point.
protected.
That's the
So
point.
that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Here, and then we have one more. I just want to show what this looks like blank.
So this is our performance hoodie. It's 10-ounce fabric. Most cotton fleeces, 3N fleeces, are about an 7 to 8 ounce. But polyester doesn't bulk like cotton, so it actually wears like a lightweight hoodie. It is performance, so it breathes. A lot of people think we want performance just so that it's cooling, but you actually just want it on all performance apparel because this has great thermal attributes, whether it's cool or hot outside.
And again, I just want to stress how soft to the touch and comfortable to the touch these are. I am a texture person, and these are things that I would not mind wearing. So
Well,
I know it's hard to see on the screen, but yeah, but I like, but these are, they're just great options for your customers. If you have weird customers like me that are picky about what things feel like, Vapor is a great option. We do have a giveaway. I'm not sure if there's anything else that we haven't covered about Vapor.
Well, the one thing I just want to clarify is we grow our brand. We are, if you go to vaporapparel.com, you'll see a lot of products that aren't sublimation friendly. We're working to develop our brand to build value in the brand. This is a quarters that we sell. So I don't want it to be confusing that we do have stuff on our retail site that's not for sublimation. If you go to Vapor Apparel, you'll see a wide range of stuff. We do have a lot of sublimation options on there. If you go wholesale.vaporapparel.com, then you can see our full range of products, and most of those are available on JPP Plus.
Yep. I was just gonna say, so no worries, no stress. If you go to jpplus.com
Yep.
and find a Vapor product, it will be sublimation specific. There'll
Correct.
be the little S in a circle so you know it's sublimation ready. We have the tech tips and downloads that will tell you a starting point for how to sublimate it, and then you can kind of adjust to your press and your materials.
So we have two quick questions here. Before I saw you got the little slip of paper, Jackie. We know what
I know
that is.
everybody's probably
Everybody's
wondering.
waiting for that, but they're gonna have to wait through two questions. First one, storage of Vapor apparel. So let's say you're working at a sublimation personalization shop. Any storage concerns, issues with storing? Say you buy 10 t-shirts and you're using 3 and you need to store 7. Any recommendations or?
Not at all. Our warehouse is not conditioned, so we're in Charleston. So heat's not an issue, cold's not an issue. Contamination is. When you're sublimating, it's very important not to have any contamination on your garments. I think we covered it already. If we didn't, if you have contamination, any kind of dirt, and you put heat on it, you have now permanently put that contamination into your garment. So if anything, that's why we sell in 6-packs. I would recommend plastic bins for stuff that you're not, if you've taken it out and want to store it, just so dust and other contaminants don't get on there.
And then the second question we had, which just left my mind, let me roll back and take a look at the computer. Okay, I got it. Now, so we talked a lot about sublimation. What about other technologies? Can you use heat transfer with the Vapor Apparel or DTF, any of those other garment personalization technologies?
Yes, there's several that we use. People have embroidered, even though I personally don't think that's the right way to go, because sublimation, it dyes the fabric, you don't feel it. Embroidery actually, it'll rub your skin. People do it. Direct to film is a popular technology. We do offer dark colors. I know that's nothing that JPP offers because it's not sublimation friendly, but we do have a line of darker colors, blacks, carbons, navies, just because it's popular in the market. There's a technology Supercolor that's been popular. We actually used, we did some work with the football bowl games this fall and winter that we use the technology. So because we designed it for sublimation, which has the highest heat, a lot of these other technologies are applied between 300 and 350 degrees. So they work great.
And I will put a plug in for white toner heat transfer. So if maybe you're doing sublimation right now and you're like, okay, I really like the white. I know that Vapor gives me the option to have some pastel colors, but I really would like to expand into dark colors. We do offer white toner heat transfer technology that allows you to print white, and you could kind of make that switch to a brand that you know and love. You already know that you like to print on Vapor. So that's something that we have as an option. So if you ever want to talk to a rep about that, what that means, don't hesitate to reach out.
Giveaway time. I think we are.
All right. We do drum roll. Okay, so we have Alan Blanchard, Becky Montgomery, and Karen Amadon. I'm very sorry if I said your last name wrong to Karen, but we will reach out to you guys and get you your 15% off. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for all of your information and knowledge, Jackson, about Vapor Apparel. It's been great having you. And
thank you for having me on here. I've enjoyed my trip to Findlay.
It's been fun.
Yeah.